It is 51 days to the presidential and parliamentary elections. Good afternoon and welcome to Election Brief with me, Faustina Safo. We're live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125, on all our social media handles and around the world on myjoyonline.com. Election Headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol Platinum Energy, Energizing Dreams, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, CIMA, and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, AICPA, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants. It's also brought to you by German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental Wellness and Beauty, as well as Chopbox Technologies, a convenience service, and Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging the gap for positive youth development. Please stay for details. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Thanks for choosing us. The Electoral Commission says it will announce the presidential results in each of the 16 regional collation centers before the final results are declared. Speaking at the launch of CODEO's 2024 Election Day observation and post-election activities, the Commission's Deputy Chairman in charge of corporate services, Bosman Asari, said all political parties have already agreed to the new format for presidential election declaration. He added that this approach is to ensure transparency and allow voters to follow the results region by region, ensuring that the counting process is visible at every stage.
Constituency, we've employed somebody who is going to work as a collation officer. The Commission has noticed that 2 days to the elections, our district officers, returning officers, they don't get to rest. And these are the same people who will be doing the collation on the December 7th. So we've decided that let's employ people with statistics, mathematical background. So for each constituency, we are going to have someone who will support with the collation. And at the regional level, we are going to have that. And when you look at the structure of the presidential, the current CI 127 allows what we call regional collation. So for the presidential election, after the polling station, all the results from the polling stations will be taken to the constituency collation centers. So from the constituency collation center, then all the results will now go to the regional collation centers. So what the Commission is doing is that we are going to announce presidential results for each region. We will announce presidential results for each region, and the parties are well aware. So at the polling station, the parties will have their agents over there. At the constituency level, the parties will have their agents, and at the regional level, the parties will also have their agents. The Commission took that decision because we want to increase the level of checks and balances in our processes, and in 2021 we did that. It certainly supported the process. And to conclude, I would like to say that the Commission is very, very much convinced that this year's process will be one of the best. In 2020, when we finished, we had the European Union and other observers giving the Electoral Commission of Ghana 95% for the work that was done. And we had the opportunity to even ask them, why didn't you give us 100%? And they indicated that we thought some of your collation centers were so crowded, the collation centers. So this year, one of the things we've done is to ensure that our collation centers are spacious enough, and to also ensure that only those who are accredited observers, accredited media personnel and agents will be allowed.
The NDC presidential candidate John Dramani Mahama has taken a direct jab at President Kufu, suggesting that the president might be sleeping or not in the country as he responds to the president's challenge on key national issues. Speaking during his tour of the Greater Accra region in the Ningo Prampram constituency, Mahama reiterated his stance on illegal mining, stating that while he has outlined his future plans to tackle the menace, the responsibility lies with President Kufu at the moment. He assured that he would address the issue if decisively voted for. On the free senior high school policy, he also directly responded to the president, promising that an NDC government would address the current challenges by implementing dedicated funding, abolishing the double-track system, and decentralizing the procurement of food for schools. President Kufu 2 days ago challenged the former President John Dramani Mahama to declare his stance on illegal mining. Let's listen to his response. We'll be back with more.
Of Energy and Natural Resources gave political leaders the platform to outline their policy on small-scale mining. And for a whole hour, I outlined our policy. After that, there was questions and answers for 2 hours. We're there for 3 hours. So he should just tell his Flagstaff House media to get him the tape of what I said at the University of Energy. Clearly on my policy on free SHS. Again, he's not in this country or he has been sleeping, because I have made it clear that there are implementational problems with the free SHS. One, there's no dedicated funding. Two, parents are not happy with the double track. Three, the quality of food the children are giving is not good. And so I've said that NDC is going to come and fix these three things. One, we're going to corral part of our oil revenues into a dedicated fund, and that fund will be used to finance the free SHS. That's number one. Number two, we're going to fast-track the completion of our educational infrastructure so that we can ease the congestion in the schools, employ more teachers, and allow all our children to go to school at the same time instead of going on a traffic light. And Nana Akufo-Addo, three, I said I'll change your centralized feeding system. I'm going to decentralize the feeding of our children in secondary school. The money is going to go directly to their schools, and their schools will be responsible for procuring the food to feed the children in order that the food will be better quality. If you are listening to me, that is our position on free SHS. We're going to make sure that it works better, its implementation is better, the children have access to textbooks, they have access to good facilities in their schools. We're going to provide laboratories, we're going to provide dormitories, we're going to provide administration blocks, we're going to provide dining halls, and all the things that they need to be able to make a good quality learning experience. You see, the issue is a simple one. There are two main reasons why the MPP want to be succeeded by Dr. Bawumia. There are two main reasons. But the first is the most important one. Dr. Bawumia cannot hold this NPP government accountable because he has been a part of what has happened over the last 8 years. He cannot absolve himself from what has been done these last 8 years against the people of Ghana. And so naturally, they want him to succeed them so that they can go home and enjoy the ill-gotten wealth that they have made. They want to go to different places and go and sit there and enjoy the money that they have stolen from the people of Ghana. And I say it won't happen. NDC is going to win. We're going to hold them accountable. We will implement Operation Recover All the Loot. And those who have illicitly stolen money from the Ghanaian people are going to bring that money back and be sanctioned for it. And that is why Akufo-Addo says, I can't hand over to President Mahama, because they are afraid of accountability. But I've always said that if you serve in government office, a public office, you are paid by taxpayers' money, you should always be prepared for the day of accountability. I left office on 6th January 2017 and handed over to Akufo-Addo. I didn't move an inch. I have stayed in this country. I announced that have taken place, that President Akufo-Addo has refused to investigate, and for which Ghanaians, he says I named him, I didn't name him, for which Ghanaians call him the clearing agent. We want to come and ask those questions of those people he says he has investigated, so that Ghanaians will know the true story of what has happened this last 8 years. I am not going to be a clearing agent. And so I serve warning to my appointees that if you come into office and you do the same things that MPP has done, if the anti-corruption institutions are dealing with you, that will be your matter. I'll have nothing to do with it. Because the people of Ghana need a government that is accountable. They need a government that will really protect the purse. Not a government that will promise to protect the purse and steal the purse. Now the purse is not even there. And so on 7th December, our work is cut out for us. Kufu said, that's all. 8 years now. Look at your lives and see if your life is better than it was before the duo of Akufo-Addo and Bawumia came into office. And I can say confidently that the majority of Ghanaians have seen a deterioration in the quality of their lives. Food is more expensive today than it ever was. The cost of basic items are more expensive than they were. Price of fuel, everything has gone up. Cement, everything. The foreign currency, and I was watching that video again. And anytime I watch it, I'm intrigued. And what he said was very true. He said, if in doubt, watch the exchange rate. If in doubt, watch the exchange rate. And I can do all the propaganda with the economy you like. But if the fundamentals are weak, what will happen? The exchange rate will expose you.
Away from the NDC, the National Peace Council has issued a stern warning to the media and political parties to desist from spreading misinformation ahead of the 2024 general elections. During a national peace crusade in Kumasi, the Peace Council cautioned that the spread of false information and disinformation could potentially undermine the credibility of the electoral process and plunge the country into chaos. Nanabuachi Yadum has more in the following report.
The National Peace Council embarked on a peace crusade in the Ashanti region by engaging various stakeholders, including political party representatives, religious leaders and student bodies. The engagement is to promote the spread of accurate information ahead of the 2024 general election. Speaking to the press, former chair of the Peace Council, Professor Emmanuel Kweku Asante, warned the media and political parties to desist from using propaganda and misinformation as a campaign strategy.
Make sure that you are not led to be partisan in your reportage. Be, if you like, don't be partisan. Open up, speak the truth in love and in consciousness of the good of the nation. These are the sort of things that one would expect that we do. I would also want to advise the political parties, the leadership, those who are campaigning. After all, you are marketing your goods, you're selling yourself, you're telling us your program. You are convincing me why I should vote for you. There is no need insulting other people. If you come to me to insult the other person, you are only telling me that you have no message. I would expect you to come and tell me what you can do for me, and then allow me to think through it. If it appeals to me, you will have my vote. I think that should be the approach.
Peter Kwesi Tekbe is a policy analyst and business development consultant. He encouraged the media to be transparent in their reports ahead of the 2024 election.
Information carried out is very, very crucial, and this is the impact or the effect of misinformation and disinformation. So every one of us is very crucial that we look at this, and all these things promote peace, because when you speak well, when you talk well and there's solution, anytime there's a problem in our communities and there's a critical solution to be resolved, problem to be resolved, and they want somebody that when they talk to will listen, they will say that, as for this guy, as for this lady, she's very difficult and doesn't understand anything, but this lady or this woman or this man is the only person that he or she listens to. That when he talk, you listen. So you have to engage those people to talk to them. So peace, for instance, is a process.
Professor Kweku Asante cautioned the EC to ensure transparency in the electoral process.
The EC called all the political parties together and explain what they are doing. I do believe that they have said that they will meet the NDC. I don't know whether they have been able to meet them. Whatever the situation is, I will want to advise the EC to ensure that they present a transparent, face, so that people will not have will not seize the opportunity to doubt what they have done. No matter what they do, you are going to have people who will always have problems with it. But they should try as much as possible to ensure that they do the right things. If people raise issues and these issues deserve proper attention, let them look at it.
For Joy News, Nana Bwachitankwa Yadom, Kumasi.
The National Communications Officer of the Convention's People's Party is calling for the fight against galamsey to be localized if the country intends to achieve success. Several interventions against the menace have failed, but Osei Kofi believes the only way to win the war is to localize it. Well, he attributes the failure of the fight to the formation of the Inter-Ministerial Task Force without involving the people living around the galamsey areas. There's more in the following report by Joseph Obey.
We have decided that the only way to fight the galamsey menace is to introduce an initiative called See Something, Say Something. The National Communication Officer for CPP, Mr. Osei Kofi, said the local people in the small towns and the villages where galamsey takes place should be part of any intervention.
See Something, Say Something is taking the fight of the galamsey to the doorstep of the people. This is what we need to do. The cocoa farmer who always go to his farm and has seen that there's an illegal activity should have a complainant center where either he is calling the district commander, the crime officer, or somebody above. Maybe even the assemblyman or the unit committee member. There should be somebody who this person can report to, because these are people who face to face come to contact with the galamseyers, because they go to their farm every day and see these galamseyers invade the farms and destroy the water bodies. So what we are saying is that it is time to localize the fight against illegal mining. What we have been doing is not working.
Mr. Akwa further stated that the government should add whistleblowers who live in the galamsey areas to the new Inter-Ministerial Task Force to combat the menace.
This is where government deliberately, national security, deliberately recruit certain people within that locality and make sure that they become police informants or whistleblowers, so that these people can give the police tip-offs whenever certain unknown people enters their forest reserves and then the water bodies to destroy the land. When this is done, what is going to happen is that the police are going to get accurate and first-hand information, which is going to lead to proper arrest. What we have realized is that most of the time, the police will get a hint through, one of these bogus informants, and they will rush to the scene only to find out that the illegal miners have absconded. And if they do that 3, 4, 5 times, the police become frustrated. And that is why the river bodies still remain polluted. The land still remain devastated.
Joseph Obin's report for Joy News.
You're watching Election Brief. We'll be back with more. Please stay tuned in. Thanks for staying with us here on Election Brief. Well, Ghana's creative contents, including music and movies, will be for the first time starting to stream on local platforms from November. Now, this according to the Vice President and flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. He says all arrangements towards the launch of this platform have been completed. Speaking in an interaction with players in the creative industry as part of campaigns ahead of 2024 election, the Vice President expressed confidence in the new platform that it will help Ghanaians and creatives maximize profits from their intellectual property.
say, $100 million worth of investment in a road, and I put $100 million worth of investment in the creative arts sector, I'm telling you that the returns will be higher in the creative arts sector. Much, much higher. And it will build a lot more, create a lot more jobs and so on. And when you look at the sort of investments that we make annually, and then you look at what we put into the creative arts sector, it's very, very minimal in that context. So I want to make a commitment to a significant public sector investment in the creative arts and tourism, and also bringing in the financial muscle of the Development Bank of Ghana, which was established a few years ago under our tenure to implement a special financing and guarantee support for the sector to support the creation of jobs in this area.
Well, that's it for Election Brief. At 3 p.m., you have to tune into the Joy News channel. We'll be bringing you the polls. We'll take you to Parliament, where the fate of 4 parliamentary candidates would be decided by the Speaker of Parliament. Also, we will also give you updates on what is happening with the NDC camp. They have filed a fresh suit seeking to restrain the Electoral Commission from printing ballot papers for the parliamentary election. They are contesting the EC's decision. We'll give you updates all at 3 p.m. My name is Faustina Safo. Thank you for making time to join us here on Election Brief. Have a pleasant day as you enjoy the rest of our programs.